Surprise! It's a VCoil class, so things are going to be weird. Hello, all. Dr. Ruben Campos here. I am obviously not coming to you live due to some unexpected travel changes. I'm actually probably boarding a plane right now. But that's the beauty of a VCoil class. You have a professor that's in an airport teaching through video asynchronously to students in Japan and Hawaii that are going to be working synchronously. And there is going to be no difference to today's lecture or the components which I've prepared for you today. But because of the fact that I'm not going to be there able to navigate Zoom and do all of these things with you and kind of see your faces, there's a second portion of this class when we actually do some interactive work is going to be a little strange and stressed, but I'm sure you're all going to be able to get through it together. So thank you so much for, Kosaka Sensei for what must be complete panic at this moment of trying to negotiate a now video component that you didn't expect to. But anyhow, everyone, thank you so much for your time and your attention. Let's get involved in the Introduction to Ethnic Studies course, our first week as a real unit, as a real group. I'm gonna start with a little reminder of who I am. My name is Dr. Ruben Campos. I come from Southern California. Um, I'm Chicano. I'm Mexican. My grandparents' side comes from Michoacan, Mexico. My mom's side comes from Denmark and England. And I grew up in a small town called Yucaipa, California, a place that I wasn't really connected to outside of the little backyard area where you can see my family in this picture cooking s'mores. And As Chicano growing up, I actually didn't really connect with much of the community that was around me, especially not the Mexican community, because I grew up in a town that was majority Euro American, right? And who would see me and my family, even though we were very similar in skin tone and spoke the same language and went to the same schools, as being a little different. Um, and I certainly didn't know anything about the indigenous peoples that kind of once inhabited those lands and continue to inhabit those lands. I just didn't take that step. And then I moved to Hawaii, and things started to change for me. I started to think, what did it mean for me to be Mexican growing up in Southern California and then suddenly moving to Hawaii, a place that um, was and is continuing to be colonized by the United States, and with a new kind of imposed history and imposed language that sits on top of and pushes aside the indigenous histories, languages, and ways of knowing this place. Um, and so over the past couple years teaching ethnic studies, I've really started to get to an understanding of what does it mean to be connected to a place, but thinking through our own history and trying to understand place and history together as we kind of through our own bodies. And so this has led me to do a lot more Malama Aina work, right? Going out to Niuhelevai, somewhere that is pictured right here, and my students will actually just there yesterday or 2 days ago on Saturday, and I go every month to kind of care for the land there and get in the lo'i and just be a part of really important resurgence of food sovereignty and indigenous ways of knowing place. So I've been thinking about all of these things over many years, and I'll tell you plenty of stories about myself here and what it meant, what I'm thinking about these. But ultimately, that is the goal of ethnic studies, right? This introductory course in ethnic studies examines histories of inequality in the United States and Hawaii. It defines the core concepts of racism, ethnic stratification, sex and gender discrimination, militarism, and settler colonialism. You all will learn to discuss contemporary social issues from multiple perspectives while using evidence, so you might arrive at a plural and multicultural understanding of society. And in ethnic studies, we analyze history through the lens of two major processes that have marked the formation of the United States: colonization and migration. We center these processes to understand how social inequalities are formed, how they are distributed across racial, ethnic, and gender groups, and why they persist. The course emphasizes the experience of indigenous people, particularly Native Hawaiians, Asian Americans, and Latinx Americans, and how they continually struggle for a just society. And our course learnings in this class will be define the core concepts of ethnic studies, apply theories of ethnic studies to analyze social, cultural, and economic inequality, argue politics using evidence and relevant theories, and discuss how ethnic studies is relevant to our identities. Now, all of that said, all of that kind of stuff that I read from the syllabus is to really bring us back to the theme of our department in ethnic studies, which is our history, our way. Um, the syllabus can be broken down into that, and that we will be all the assignments and the reading are going to be kind of filling out the ethos of the class, our history, our way. We're going to be looking at our history in a new possible way, a way that doesn't necessarily mean just just traditional histories that when we think of the United States or we think of Hawaii, we're going to be looking at complex social histories where different groups of people have come into conflict and struggled for power and struggled against oppression. We're going to be looking at history using a lot of different critical concepts that you may or may not have heard or encountered in some of your other classes. And that's going to be all done in the reading. So that's where we'll be getting our history. But when we think about our way, what does our way mean in this instance? We're going to be doing a lot more discussion-based things. So our learning materials are going to be about our history, our discussion in classroom times are going to be about our way, the ways, in fact, that we position ourselves and think about ourselves, and more importantly, tell stories about ourselves. So what's going to be going on in this course is where we're going to be taking the class from kind of a safe space to a brave space, where we will be slowly practicing different methods that are going to allow us to share more deeply, to think more deeply about ourselves, and to learn a lot more deeply from others. We're going to be discussing really difficult issues that might trigger a lot of people in ways that they have experienced some of these structural violences. So we're going to be talking about race and racism, ethnic stratification and class, poverty. We're going to be talking about gender, sexuality, and the changes that certain groups have imposed to limit people's freedom of expression. And we're going to be looking at militarism and the ways in which the United States government and other governments have really put war and death and scary weapons at the center of our daily lives and how we think about the world. And we're going to be thinking, of course, about settler colonization, which is going to frame the entirety of this class to where we're at right here. But to do all that, to talk about all of that, it's going to take practice because we're not used to talking about all of these things. So in most safe spaces, nobody gets to talk about anything that hurts or anything that is kind of is scary or is political or is divisive. In this class, we have to talk about those things because these histories are real, and we also have to be able to position and think about ourselves in relationship to these. So we're gonna figure out how to do that together. One of the primary ways we're going to be doing that is through a kind of gradual introduction of who we are as we get comfortable. So today, even though I'm not there with you all, you will be introducing yourself according to a very kind of defined timeline and a very easy opening. But everybody's going to be introducing themselves. And we also are going to be kind of, what's it called? Sharing a special thing about ourselves that brings us joy. Um, and this will be something that we each need to rely on throughout the semester as we enter in from the safe space into more of these brave spaces, is that each of us is human and has values and joy and wants to share and connect with other people. So first, let's get to it. And this is a big, scary part where the class can fall apart at any moment. I need everyone to immediately go to the Google Slides link that is in your syllabus. If possible, not if possible, if you're able to get there immediately, just jump into Google Slides. If you're the first one to do it, can someone put it in the chat field? I don't know if Kosaka Sensei will be able to do that for you all, but please head to the syllabus, grab the link that is to the Google Slides, and open that. You can find the link in the syllabus and hopefully now in the chat. And now I'm just kind of wasting time here because I want to give a full 5 minutes, allowing us to get into that space. So I'm going to pause here, or don't pause here. I'm going to just take a drink here while you all go to the Google Slide link inside of the syllabus. It is, I believe, in the third column, third or fourth column of the week 6 layout in the syllabus. And hopefully now, once you're in there, you'll notice that the left column shows thumbnails. So this hopefully is what you all will be seeing right now on your screens. Again, running out the clock to give everybody time to get there. Feels very weird to be doing this synchronously, asynchronously, but it's the best thing we can do. Okay, so now hopefully you are all getting there. As you are all getting there, I'm going to go over what you should be seeing. Because the truth of this is you have access not only to the full slideshow here that is going to develop and expand over the next couple of weeks or months, but you also have editing privileges, which is a scary thing because that means you might accidentally delete something or you might add something that's strange and isn't formatted correctly. Don't worry, don't stress, those things happen. So what we'll be doing is editing all this together. And I'm going to give you all a couple more minutes, quite a few more minutes, to actually go through and find your slide. There are plenty of different names here. I've created a slide for each and every one of you that was on my Lamaku class registry. And all of you are listed in alphabetical order according to your last name or family name. But I don't know people by their family names. I certainly don't know Kosaka, Christina. I know Chris, or Kosaka Sensei, as I sometimes call him here. But that is the name that was listed on her roll call. But we want to change that, and in this class, we want to change our names from what we might be listed somewhere as to what we go by. You all can call me Ruben. Some prefer Doc Campos, but others also call me Rube. And depending on the scenario and how long we've known each other, you can do the same. But I want you to now go through, and over the next couple minutes, start finding your names and changing the name to what you actually want to be called. Right? Just change your name to what you actually want to be called. Okay. Um, Once you have done that, you will then add or think about first, take a moment to think about what food, music, activity, or place brings you comfort and joy, right? I want you to think about those for a minute and then do your best. Don't worry, you're not being tested on any of this, to add either texts or images or anything that you want to your slide that answers one of those questions. You can answer you can put as many on there depending on time if you're real quick, but I do want you to at least get um, some kind of representation, even if you change your name and you don't know how to do any of the other Google slide things, um, just throw in here menudo. That's a food that brings me comfort, joy, right? Um, and throw that inside of the slideshow. Don't worry, the way if you can have plenty of time to do this, and since you all have access, if you're confused right now, um, we're going to take a couple more minutes of actual silence to give you an opportunity to edit your slide. So go ahead and do that now, adding your name and a food, music, activity, or place that brings you comfort and joy. Okay, so I'm going to drink some more water and wait. If you've already finished, um, you please feel free to just hang out, take a break. We're gonna let this run for another 2 more minutes, but you're welcome to get fancy with these. If you know Google Slides, you're welcome to change the template um, and do any other kinds of fancy things you want with your slide. Not required, of course, but I don't know. If I was given a little playground like this, I would get um, definitely nerdy. And we'll go through my slide as well after this. But again, just 2 more minutes and then we'll move on. If you don't finish, don't worry. Okay. Of course, as I'm doing this all, I noticed that I didn't give you good, clear directions on the screen. Didn't double check that, but hopefully you all have understood that you're adding a word icon or even a song link to that. I explained it a couple times, but unfortunately you didn't get to see that on screen, so sorry about that. But let's bring it back here so we don't lose too much time. Again, if you are experience any issues with this, don't worry. We're not going to be using this in this version. We were going to be using this today, but hey, I'm not synchronous. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing on is going into the next phase of our introductions. Um, the phase where you all actually have to talk. And that will be the remainder of this class, aside from a final note that I'll have. Um, and this is obviously going to take quite a while because we have over 40 students or around 40 students between Japan and Hawaii. And having you all share is going to take a lot of coordination. But here's what we're going to be doing. You are going to introduce yourself by your name, the name that you prefer to be called by. And then tell us a kind of answer this question. What food, music, activity, or place brings you comfort and or joy, right? So I'm going to give you three examples. So for me, hello, my name is Ruben Campos. Uh, Menudo, which is a Mexican soup, brings me a lot of comfort. If I ever feel gross or if I feel like I want to be connected to a very special flavor and feeling, I love to eat menudo. I drive all the way up to El Palenque on the North Shore, or um, almost to the North Shore, to eat it. Um, thank you for listening. Okay, that one was a little long, but that's okay. Okay, now let me try again. Um, Hello, my name is Ruben Campos. For me, uh, like a music that always just makes me happy is the Gorillas. I love the band The Gorillas, who are featured here. I've loved them since their very first single came out when I was in high school, and ever since then, I've been an obsessive collector of all the cool things that they produce and create, both sonically and visually. So, thanks for listening. Okay, cool. So now my third one. Okay, hello, my name is Ruben Campos. Ruben, you can all call me Rubes. An activity that's been bringing me a lot of joy lately is Malama Ina Ahupua'a, which is I go out on the weekends. I go to different very like traditional Hawaiian sites of food production, and um, I get in the lo'i, or I mean I weeding, I'm farming, I'm moving rocks, I'm doing all sorts of stuff, and I love the feeling of being connected with Aina here. It's something special that I've learned about. Thank you. Okay. Ooh. So what we're going to be doing, as you can see, I just gave my name and a short little introduction to a thing that brings me joy. You only have to share one. And in fact, for the sake of time, please just choose a food, music, activity, or place that brings you comfort and joy. Um, I didn't, I kind of put my activity and place together, if you all noticed. It's actually being out, but you all might have a particular place that brings you comfort or joy. Anyways, share one of those things, and it can be just very short. It should be your name and a little short blip. It can be a short of just saying, hey, my name is Heidi, and Ala Moana brings me joy. Actually, that's my wife, Heidi. For her, it would be she has a workout class that she goes in there, Legree. So she would say, "Hi, Heidi, Legree brings me joy." Boom. Um, so another example, let's call on Kosaka Sensei, who is my partner in crime here with the M or with this class. And Kosaka Sensei, can you kind of demonstrate how you might introduce yourself? Okay, hopefully I didn't cut you off. So weird to be asynchronous, but that's what you'll be doing. So hopefully you have all kind of prepared your thoughts. I gave you plenty of time to prepare your thoughts as you were creating those slides. Um, so now let's jump to our introductions. And again, I'm sorry for the weirdness of all of this, but what we're going to do now is I want you to agree on the sharing order. I want you all to type your name in the chat field and then wait. Okay. So everybody type your name into the chat field and just wait. Don't press enter. Don't send it. Okay. Okay. Hopefully everybody has their name in the chat field. Now press enter. Boom. Okay. Hopefully you're seeing the chat field kind of come about, come up, filled with names. Um, okay, now that order that you all see up there of in the chat field of whose names were clicked in first, that's your list for who goes first and who goes next. Do your best to keep your mics off until you're ready to share. Turn on your mic real quick, share your piece, and then turn your mic off. Make sure you're looking ahead at where your name is in the chat field. Um, the chat field is the sharing order. Pay close attention. Okay. So are we all ready to go? We're going to be doing this for the rest of the class, except for the last couple of minutes when I will come back in and share everything with you. We're just coming up on 30 minutes. So now is this kind of time to transition and prepare yourself. I'm going to stop recording this video and then I'll come back later to hear everything, how everything went for you all. So again, just to go over what we're doing right now, you all now have a list of names in the chat field. The person that's right way at top that clicked enter first is going to be the first person that introduces themselves and something that brings something or food or music or place that brings them comfort or joy. And share your small little stories and get to know each other. Thank you so much for working through this. If you're confused, well, I can't see your faces, so there's no way for me to know, but I trust that with all of the great people here helping, everything's going to go just perfectly well. So again, I will be back and at the very end with another little video. If we get through this introduction phase quickly, then Kosaka Sensei can put that video up and you all might be able to leave early. If you're unable to get through it, all of your introductions, then we'll have to come back to it. But again, thank you for your time today. Your kind of exit ticket to so that I know you were in class is your little name slide change. So make sure you do that before next week. Thanks.